Hey, good morning. I'm Adrian Cormican from Hallcroft, and let me take you through our Rightmove strategy that we're using to save hours and hours of time and make us a lot more consistent. So let's have a quick look at the agenda. Here's what we're working through. So this is what I've broken down into 5 segments, things that we're going to have to work on. And as you can see at the front of every single one of these ideas is automation. So these are all things that we're trying to do anyway, but we are being inconsistent as the weeks slip by. Some weeks we do things, some weeks we don't. So we've got to find ways. We know it works, so we've got to find a way that we can actually make ourselves be consistent and make sure that we are doing this on a weekly basis. And what comes out the back end after point number 5 is just the focus on the clients. And by scaling this, we can speak to a lot more clients rather than having to do all this heavy lifting in this space here. So what we're going to work on today, we're only going to focus on automating company searching. All these other segments are in the process. You can see here on number 1, I'm actually using Upwork to scrape the URLs, and I'll come on to that in a moment as to exactly what that means. But eventually what we're going to do, we're going to bring that in-house and we'll automate it within the business. But let's focus on automating company searching. And what do I mean by this? So within Rightmove, there are streams and streams of opportunities. I've got an opportunity here. I've gone to the county of Leicestershire. I've set up a filter that is where they are new homes. As you can see, must have is a new home, because that's one of our target markets. It might not be one of yours, but within our business, anyone that is selling new homes will more than likely be on Rightmove. So therefore, we want to talk to those people. Why wouldn't I want to talk to new developers? Now, of course, they are selling those units now, but they'll have another project maybe a little bit further down the line. So I set this up to must-haves is new home. I'm not interested in retirement homes in here. I'm not interested in buying schemes. I'm not interested in auction properties. And for the sake of this one, I've actually added any time, but you can play around with this, and I will eventually be using these filters. But for now, just for the purposes of this, we're going to look at any time. And as you can see here, there's a lot of leads. So 1,096 are going to come up when I go through to this filter. Now, our next stage is, and what we used to have people in the office doing would be they'd scroll through these individually and they'd look for what we describe as small and medium enterprise businesses. So we're not after the corporate builders, the ones that are pumping out 500 to 2,000 homes a year, the likes of your Barratts, your Bellways, Red Rose, etc. We're looking for the small and medium enterprises that are maybe doing anywhere between 5 houses and 100 houses a year. So we've got to look for those. And as I scroll here, I can probably see that looks like an SME. This one doesn't. You can see here quite clearly, some of them advertise their name, Taylor Wimpey. But what we're actually looking for is we're looking for going into the opportunity, and then I'm looking for the developer's name in the narrative. And just hopefully you've twigged by me just actually saying that. How much time is that going to take me to do that on 1,096 leads in Leicestershire? Go into the ones that I identify that I think are SMEs, and then have to scroll through all of the narrative looking for, as I'm doing here now live on this one, I'm looking for a name of a developer. And what I'm looking for, I've been in the market for a number of years. I'm looking for homes, Johnson Homes or Johnson Developments or Billericay Construction. There'll be lots of things that will catch my eye straight away, but I'm a human being and I'm going to miss things. So therefore, it might have been in there, but I've missed it. So I click back out. I then start scrolling again. This looks like another opportunity here. A luxury eco 5-bedroom house. Who developed that? I want to know who's developed that. Come back in. Once again, I'm scaling. Nothing has caught my eye there. Obviously, for the purpose of the video, I'm not going through with a fine-tooth comb. But if I was having a bad day, I wouldn't go through it with a fine-tooth comb. So we had to come up with a solution. So here it is. Solution is URL scrape. So what? Number 1, I send that to Upwork. Upwork, people on Upwork then scrape these 1,097 results would come to me in a very long list. And what I've done today, I've transferred all those individual URLs across to something called Airtable, which works with automations really strongly. Airtable is essentially Excel on steroids. It's absolutely phenomenal what it can do. So what I've taken from the chaps overseas that have done these URL scraping for me, and it's about to scrape that 1,000, those 1,000 leads or URLs. That's probably cost me in the order of about $50. They've sent it across, and I've uploaded them here today. Now, there's a big build that's gone on behind this to create this with all the sources, and I'm not going to go through this with a fine tooth comb today. But what I've got something here that says need to be scraped, or scraped, should say scraped. And what will happen is this will trigger an automation that I've set up in Make, which I'll come on to in a minute, which is another automation tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click needs to be scraped. I'm going to go through a number there. I'm going to, oh, is that not happening? There we go. So we've got, these are all going to trigger a scenario in the background here, which is called stage 2, which refers to stage 2 in the build. And what you should see down here on the right-hand side is it has triggered this here. And what we've got is this morning, it's triggered off. We're at 10:04. You can see here, it's triggered 1 to, what's that, 6, probably 10 to 15 automations. And let's have a quick look at what this is. So webhook, that has been connected to my Airtable. So straight away, as soon as something's loaded up, it will trigger this automation. It takes the record, the URL, the individual URLs, it takes that here in Airtable. It makes a request to the actual link itself. And then these 3 components here, I've set them up to effectively do what I was doing there a few moments ago, which is scour through, but this will not miss names. And I've set this up to tell me certain things. So it's looking at the data. It's looking for names and opportunities that it goes through as it runs through these. And then it comes out the other side into ChatGPT, which then makes sense of it. And as you can see here, built by developer or builder name. And I'm looking for company names, as you can see here. It goes back, it makes a final request to look for those names. And then it updates a record back in Airtable. And what that means, it comes back here. And as you can see, these were all empty a few minutes ago. But of those 15 names that I loaded up and said needs to be scraped, we've got 3 names that have come out. Now, instinctively, those 3 names that I can see there are corporates, which is the downside to this. If I go to the filtered view, because it gets rid of all my empties. No, I won't actually for the moment. No, let's stay in warehouse view. Instinctively, I know they're corporates and they're not going to be part of our target market, but you can see how long that took me to do those 15. Instead of going into each and every, first of all, finding the URLs, secondly, clicking into every single URL, and then trying to work out whether I can find a name within the narrative. This has done it instantly for me, and it's given me 3 names. Now, for the purpose of this video, let's quickly do a few more. Oh, actually, it won't trigger because I had a bit of a problem within my feed. So what we're going to do, you can turn it back on, process old data, and you can see it's firing off again there. So that's now going, and let's just watch this as it's come through. See, it's done. And when it's empty, that means that there is no name within that area. But as you can see here, it's triggering off, it's completing, it's updating to done, which is an automation as well that I've set up. And then it actually passes it across to a filtered spreadsheet, because as you can see, I don't want all these gaps in between all of these. I want a nice clean Leicestershire right, those are the leads that I've created in Leicestershire. And then what we're going to do with those leads, essentially, we're going to move on to step 3. Once we've found a company, it's all great, well and good having the company, but we also need to automate the email finding. I want to be in touch with all of these companies. If they're building, I want the intel on what they're building, where they're building it, and also further down the line, we will also be getting data such as who they've got charges with, who they borrowed from. There's mountains of data out there in the market to help us. So just as a quick summary and recap on what we've done here, we've used 2 really clever bits of tech, well, 3 bits of tech really. This website has been around for years. If you are a developer, you are going to be selling through this through an agent so that you can advertise your homes. And as you can see here, there are many new homes in Leicestershire, big county Leicestershire, and a lot of them will be corporates. But within those corporates, there will be our target market. So we had to find a way, rather than individually going through every single one of these 1,097 here today, as well as what is updated in the next 14 days, which is referring back to the filters I mentioned earlier. We had to find a way to do that quickly and efficiently. And the 2 bits of tech that we used were Airtable and Make. Now, as you can see, I've had a number of successes there. And success means it has checked the URL and it has either given me a name back or it has given me an empty shell because there isn't a name in there. Because not every single developer is advertised within Rightmove. Some of them keep it low key and keep their name off of the advertisements. Hope that's been helpful. Please do join our school community. So our school community is all about providing a space where property developers, investors can come, share ideas. I'm going to be doing an automation area within our school community, which will hopefully inspire people, because I know what I've done here does not compute to everyone's business. For example, a developer, they don't need to find other developers' names, but they will need to find sites, and we will be able to help with automations to find other sites and to make their life more efficient so that they're not doing all the heavy manual work and they're only doing the important work, which in my eyes would be engaging with landowners so that they can negotiate the purchase for the right price. Thanks very much for listening. Take care. Have a good day.